Under all users, I can see all the users that are there in the tenant, the users with their display name, UPN, user type, whether they are member or the guest, on-prem synchronized. In my case here, no user has been synchronized from on-premises yet. Later in the demo, we will be synchronizing the users from on-premises to the Entra ID as well for hybrid setup. To create a new user account, I can create a user as a member in this directory or a native user, or I can invite an external user as a guest or as a member. User principal name, I will provide some user name here, and the display name for this user. The password that is provided here is a temporary password. At the first login, the user has to change the password. This is either auto-generated password or you can provide your own password, but it remains temporary password. At the first login, user has to change it. Then I will provide other attributes for this user, and some of them I will ignore. Some of the important attributes I'm going to provide are first name of the user, last name, user type, whether the user is member, I want to provide privileged roles, or as a guest I want to invite this or use this account. Then job title as per the requirement. For an instance, this user is HR representative and department is HR, and the usage location for the license assignment which will be required. So this is going to be United States, and I will create this account with review and create. I'm not doing any role assignment or the administrative unit assignment at this moment. We'll click create to create this account. I will create another account here. We'll create a new user account, and following the same process and the same attributes I'll configure. This time this user account is different than the previous one, of course, Miranda, and this is the password for this user. In the properties, again I'll provide the same thing, the first name, last name attributes, and the usage location, department, and the job title. User will be member, and job title help desk manager, department, there we go, operations, and after this usage location, this is going to be United States. Next, for the assignment, this I will ignore and will create this another account. I will do the role assignment in the next exercise. This exercise is regarding creating the user accounts, and now I go to the server manager to show you the management of user accounts through the PowerShell. I will launch the PowerShell. Make sure you run the PowerShell as an administrator, otherwise the user account control will not let you make changes to this system. For an instance, I will be installing the module for PowerShell.Graph for Entra ID identity management. Now when I'm logged in as an administrator, I run the command install module. Microsoft.Graph is the module which I will install from PowerShell gallery, and scope is current user. This will take few seconds to minutes. I will pause the video and will resume once this module is installed. Well, this module is installed and you see that it came up with a warning as well that it is not trusted repository, where I provided my consent to trust it. I will connect to the Microsoft Graph using Connect-MgGraph PowerShell commandlet, and the scope I have defined for user.read-write.all to perform all operations, and it pops up for the authentication. And at this pop-up I'll provide my global admin credentials that I have for this tenant to manage the identities. You can provide those limited admin credentials that you have, which has the permissions actually to manage the identities. I will sign in. Once the sign in is completed, the token will be provided. I'll provide my consent on behalf of the organization and accept this. Once this is done, you will notice that authentication is completed successfully, and after this I will be managing the identities. I'm creating a password profile first of all, where I want to set up few attributes, like the password will be this pa55w.rd, and force change password at next sign in is set to false. So I want that whatever the password I set, user need not to change it at the next login. Well, this is the password profile that I have defined. Now I can create a user account with the command new MG-user. The display name for this user is Cody, and the given name Cody, surname, mail nickname, then usage location is US, user principal name, and then the password profile I have taken from the variable created earlier. Then the account enabled, yes, department is sales, job title is sales representative. I will hit enter. You will notice that the account has been created. You can also run the command Get-MgUser to get the users from this directory. These are the user accounts in this directory. You will notice user Cody as the fourth account from the top. You see, you can go to show more and see the different blades here. Roles and admins is there to assign the roles. For the role assignment, I can go to roles and admins, pick a particular role and assign it to the users. Right now I'm doing it for individuals, but later we will see the license assignment and the permission assignment to the groups, and ideally it is done at the group level. For this demonstration purpose, to do the explicit assignment of a role, for an instance global admin role I have searched for, I want to assign, so I'll click on this global administrator role and will assign it. I have options to make it eligible or an active assignment I want to do. I will do the assignment from here. I will choose the security principal to whom I want to provide the access. I will search for this security principal from here. For an instance, to Ellen, I want to provide the global admin rights. I will choose the user, select it, and go with next. Here you have option to make it eligible or active. I have intentionally done it as a eligible role assignment so that I can show you that this is possible to convert it later as well, in case you want the eligible role assignment to be an active assignment. So eligible is something that you have to activate the role. It leverages the privileged identity management, the time-bound administration. But because I want this as an active, so you see the eligibility also that is ending on 23rd of December 2024. So that has been defined, the start date and end date for this. I can update this detail either from here that you see, or the option is there in the user accounts window, if you see this table, there will be a column called actions, where from you can remove the role or you can update the role. It comes as eligible. I'll choose it as active, permanently assigned role. Why are you doing this? You need to provide a justification. I will provide some justification here, like this is MD-102 lab I'm doing for the role assignment to demonstrate. We'll save it, and now shortly you will see that role will be turned into active. I need to refresh it, wait for a few seconds. The process is changing this from eligible to active role. This is how we do the role assignment. Well, this is completed, and you see that from eligible it is turned into active. No longer eligible role available here. Now I want to assign some another role. I can search for that. Let us repeat the role assignment process, but this time it is help desk administrator I want to assign. This is also a privileged role, as you see on the right side in the columns list. And there I'll do the add assignments, the same thing. Then here we have the option at the directory scope. I'm going to assign this role, Entra ID role. I will select the user over here to whom I want to assign this. This time it is Miranda. I'll select the user and will go ahead and assign this role. Active assignment and justification. Finally, assign this role. This is how we assign the roles to the users in Entra ID. I have used built-in roles. In case you want to create custom roles, you also can do so. Now let us work with the groups, which are used to logically unite multiple users to ease the permission assignment and for collaboration purpose. I will create a new group where I have option that I want to use it for permission assignment as security or Microsoft 365 as group type. I'm going with security and the name is Contoso Managers. I will decide that whether the users will be assigned manually to this group or I want to go with dynamic user or devices based on the attributes of these users or devices. I can put a condition. If the user meet this condition, they will become the member of this group. Now I go with the assigned and I assign the users manually to this group. I will be adding the two users. One is admin and then the second user. So one I have selected. Now I will add the second user also to the same group. We'll search for this user and this user is Miranda. So Miranda and admin are the member of this group, Contoso Managers. I have created this group finally. This is how we can create the groups. Now let us go back to the PowerShell, and from the PowerShell we can see the creation of group by using this new mggroup command. Display name Contoso Sales I want to create. Description I have provided. This is a string value. As you see, the double quotes are used. Mail enabled, false. I don't need a security mail enabled group. Mail nickname Contoso Sales and security enabled, yes. This is the group. I can run the Get-MgGroup command as well to see that whether this group has been created. So I can see Contoso Sales has been created. Now I will read this group. I will list it and store it into a variable with Get-MgGroup command, where object has been used to filter, and placeholder that I have used is _.displayName equals to Contoso Sales. Now I will retrieve few users, in fact the one which is Cody, and with the Get-MgUser command, where the display name of the user equals to Cody. I want to make this user Cody member of this group Contoso Sales. For that, I'll go with new mg group member command. In the group ID, I have picked up that variable group and .id to retrieve that attribute, and directory object ID is the user ID. So $user is the variable, .id is the attribute in that. Now, if I show you the group ID and then format list in a list view, so you will see that this is the ID of this group and additional properties are these. So graph user, system object, display name is Cody. This is the group member I have retrieved the details from. This is how we can manage the groups and the group membership of users through the PowerShell. Now let's look into the licenses. I can see the licenses by going to the licenses blade under billing and then all products. Under all products, I'll see the licenses. I have EMS E5 license, Microsoft Teams, Office 365. These are the numbers, total, assigned, available, expiring. I have Windows Power Apps for developers and the Windows 10 and 11 Enterprise E3 license as well. The number of licenses I have total is higher than the assigned one. So that means I still have few available licenses, as you see, 5 in each on the first 3, and then the 949 I have 9,999 in the Power Apps and 14 licenses for Windows 11. We will be doing the license assignment shortly. On the left side, I show you some other blades that we can use for either the customization of this directory. So you see users, groups. I have collapsed these expanded blades. Billing we have seen. For licensing. For license assignment, ideally we use the admin center, Office 365 admin center, which is admin.microsoft.com. I'll open that and show you shortly. Now what I wanted to show you here is the user experience for the login. Here you see identity governance, external identities I can manage from here for the user flow and other related settings. Let us do the user experience and the company branding for this directory. In this, I have default sign-in experience. User will get the default sign-in experience for Entra ID. But in case I want to change, I can customize that. There is a button to customize it. You have different settings like basics, layout, header. There you can change on the basics like page background color you want to change, or the background image you want to provide. This is the user experience you want to improve, and you want to do the branding of your company with the logo of your company, theme and all. So the page should look like your company's page. The directory should look like your company's directory, not as a generic Entra ID. That we can do from here. So banner logo is there. We can provide square logo if we want to provide. The sign-in page text, what text I want to provide for the sign-in page, that I can configure. For an instance, at the sign-in page, the text I want this to appear as Contoso Corp sign-in page. These are some settings that we can configure. You can spare time and see these settings. They are self-explanatory. You see exclamation mark after every setting. As soon as you hover over your cursor to that exclamation mark, it explains you that particular setting. Well, to do the license assignment, I will open the admin portal. For that, I will go with admin.microsoft.com or aka.ms/admin. So this is the admin portal, admin.microsoft.com, Office 365 admin center. And I will be logging in using the same account. And now I show you the users, active users we have here, where from we can see what are the active users in this directory. I can manage these users by clicking on a particular user and doing the mail forwarding, license assignment, kind of day-to-day activities for these users from this admin portal. This user is Cody. I will click on that user and will see the licenses and apps assigned to this user. You see a blade here, licenses and apps. You can do the mail related settings, configuration and all. I want enterprise E5, EMS E5 license and Office 365 license assigned to this user Cody. This is the license assignment done for an individual user that we can do explicitly, but it is also preferred to assign it at the group level wherever possible. Here you see the usage location has been configured, which is United States. The attribute was already configured. I go to the licenses blade under the billing in this admin center to show you the licenses that are available. The same thing that you have seen in the Entra portal as well under all products. So these are the subscriptions we have. I'm opening one of that, EMS E5, and then I can assign the license from here as well. So there are ways of doing one thing. We can do it in multiple ways. Now, Contoso, and this is actually group Contoso Managers I'm looking for. So I need to close it and look for the groups. This is actually users. So let us go to the groups and search for the group to assign this license, this time to a group. There are two groups I can see, Contoso Managers and Contoso Sales. I selected Contoso Managers and assigned this EMS E5 license. You assigned the license to Contoso Managers. In case you want to assign another licenses to a set of groups, you can do it in the same manner. So go to the licenses. For an instance, this time Office 365 E5 license. 4 licenses are available in this. I'm going to the group and assigning the licenses to the Contoso Managers group. And in the Contoso Managers, I already had 2 users as member of it. The license will be assigned. Go to the licenses blade, and now you see the licenses EMS E5, 2 licenses are available. This will refresh shortly. I can see Office 365 4 licenses. So